Hello to whoever's listening. Today I'm once again on the Quickie and I am going to be covering Chris and television. Before we get into that though, I would really appreciate if you'll subscribe to help me out, like this video to boost up in the algorithm, comment down below any suggestions for any video ideas and topics you want me to cover, and I might make a video on it, not guaranteed though because I am lazy. And also hit that bell to get notifications to all of my videos, and by the way, I have a Twitter. I've had Twitter for ages now. I've had it for like 2 years at this point. But anyways, here it is on screen. I may do just shit posting it, I'm not gonna lie with you, but whenever there's a new video out, I'll be like, hey, here's a new video, check it out, tweet it, put the link in there and everything. I'll even pin it on my profile. So if you look on my Twitter, you can't really miss it. So yeah, by the way, I'm pretty sure 99% of my followers are palm bots. So if you're a real person, follow my Twitter and do all the other things I just said right now. Let's get into this. Chris and television. This article's out today. We need information on television's general role in Chris's dimensional merge fantasies and other TV shows Chris got into during the 2020s. We suggest you keep up with the time. Chris's recent feelings have helped Quickie gather more information for this article. Be a winner by adding this information in. The new information that can be found from the following sources: The Place Chats, October 2020, hashtag tea parties and musicals. Don't know what that means. Anyway, I watch too much television. Chris being surprisingly true and honest. God, that sounded so stupid when I was doing it. But yeah, no, he's right. He watches too much TV. Get a hobby, Chris. Stop fapping and drawing Sunchu comics and watching TV. Go outside. Have a conversation with someone. Don't ask them to be your girlfriend, but, touch grass, I guess. Television is a widely used telecommunication medium for transmitting and receiving moving images. It is a staple in almost all North American homes, as well as many other homes throughout the world. It's also one of the favourite pastimes of our mutual friends. Indeed, when not quote-unquote socialising, recycling, playing video games or ranting about blue arms, it's a fairly safe bet that Chris is sitting down and watching TV. Lots and lots of TV. Chris gets most of his information concerning the outside world through the television, among other entertainment media. This leads to blatantly ripping off concepts and characters from whatever he watches. Yeah, no, I get it. There's no such thing as an original idea. Everything is derivative of everything. You gotta at least make it a bit subtle. You don't need to put the Transformers and Pokemon and other crap in your comic. You don't need crossover episodes all the time, Chris. You can make something up. Not Pikachu, because that's just two characters mashed together. I don't think it's ever had an idea that was at least somewhat original. It's always blatantly ripped off from something. It's really painfully obvious. But anyway, here's a picture and the caption says Sonichu coming soon on Family Guy, and it's these concept sketches. Yeah, the Sonichu and Roshu actually look alright. It's kind of the same style as Brian. A bit creepy. And I like the little drawing of Chris and a really terrified Meg, because I'm pretty sure Chris had a thing for Meg Griffin. He was the creator of the Hear Me Out thing. You know when people on TikTok do Hear Me Out cakes? His cake would be, well, first of all, be farted on, and then, he put Meg Griffin, Megan Troder, all that stuff, really. He's just one of them. Interpretation of media. God. Most of Twitter doesn't even know how to interpret medium right, so I doubt Chris can either. Chris is prone to interpreting various forms of media in his own strange way. During his attempt to put up his own ads on the Wikipedia, he claimed that the award-winning film Avatar was meant to promote the eradication of homosexuality, rather than the tolerance of other cultures, so it completely went over his head. Is that the opposite of what he thinks? Oh, it's so stupid. How you contrived this idea is a complete mystery. Not only does homosexuality not feature in the film in any way, but the message of the film is it's wrong to exterminate anything. His fear of homosexuals destroying the future incidentally emerged from an episode of South Park called quote-unquote Goobacks, which was a satire of the controversy of illegal immigration. In the episode, a group of rednecks who had lost their jobs to the illegal immigrants from the future decided that the best way to get their jobs back was to destroy the future by making everyone gay, so there wouldn't be anyone in the future. That's literally just Chris. No, since he believes that dimensional merge crap, he probably literally thinks that South Park is real life. He probably sees the gang in his bedroom. They're doing whatever. I don't know what they do. I don't watch that much South Park. Chris, however, took everything at face value and interpreted the episode as a scare film on par with Red Dawn. In a similar vein, Chris is convinced that Family Guy is anti-gay Republican propaganda, owing to his failure to interpret that the show is parodying Republicans, and the show's creator Seth MacFarlane is famous famously supports of gay rights. Although some of the trans stuff in Family Guy is rather appalling. Interestingly, Chris does not have this misconception when it comes to live action media. He's explicitly stated that Seinfeld characters aren't real to justify the Saw series by saying that the violence is all made up. It's kind of weird that he doesn't see like live action shows, movies and stuff as real life. With Family Guy and South Park, he's like, yeah, that's 100% real. Like, I don't know, maybe he should watch Saw again in his like fucked up mind, and he'll probably think, oh my god, there's this little puppet out there and a little tricycle killing people. I don't know what Saw's about. I've never watched Saw, fun fact. I've never watched the series. I had a girlfriend who was like really, really into Saw, and she'd like tell me like about all the movies. I was like, I think I was either 10 or 11, but I forgot most of it, so it's whatever. As shown above, Chris rarely understands any moral dispensed by media, generally widely misinterpreting them and then citing them as justification for his ridiculous and bigoted behaviour, although he's not the only one that does that. Like, for example, Dude Bros in the anime community. I'm not really, like, in the anime community anymore. Like, I haven't been since, I don't know, 2022 or so I would have been 15, 16. Like, I haven't been in it for ages, and just clarifying that, but from like memories I've had, I'll see like a lot of dude bros get like really homophobic over like fangirls or whatever shipping like guy characters together, and you'll be like, oh, why can't guys just be friends? They're like basically brothers. Oh, you can't draw them f***ing. It's a bit like that, really. For example, while attempting to justify his attempt to pretend to be liquid with Chris in an attempt to steal his girlfriend, he claimed that he was quote-unquote wrong, but for the right reasons. Somehow. This comes from another episode of South Park called quote-unquote Best Friends Forever, after the satire of the Terry Cheveya? I'm not too sure who that is. Controversy is stated that Cartman was quote-unquote right, but for the wrong reasons. It meant that his goal of shutting down the vegetative Kenny's life support was the right thing to do, for reasons involving the fate of the universe that are too complex to explain here, but his motivation was completely off mark. He only did it because he knew Kenny's death would cause him to inherit his PSP. Oh my god. I need to watch South Park again, honestly. I have a bit of it on, like, DVD. Of course I could watch it online, but I don't know, it's just better to watch it on my Xbox. That sounds funny as f***. I need to watch that episodes. I'll try to find it. Rather than exploiting the situation for their own benefit like Cartman was, Chris seems to have interpreted this as if, quote-unquote, if you do a bunch of bad things, like pretending to be someone else in order to steal their girlfriend, you're completely justified in doing so if your dishonest actions led to a positive outcome, like proving that you're the true and honest Christian Western Chandler and getting laid. Yeah, no, Chris just doesn't seem to understand right from right. He does, but if it benefits him, he thinks it's right. If it doesn't, then it's wrong. Like, or if someone tells him that's wrong, then he thinks that's wrong. But if someone tells him it's right, whatever it is, he'll be like, that's right. His view of right and wrong is very, very, like, I'll say childish, naive, just to piss him off. Oh no, it's hard to explain. But you know what? I would love to see Chris watch, like, BoJack Horseman or something. Because first of all, it's a cartoon, animals and so you probably think they're real. And second of all, because, like, a lot of the characters, like, do a lot of up shit, but then they do like a lot of good shit, like BoJack Horseman, for example. He thinks, and I believe this is what Chris kind of thinks as well, he thinks that doing a big grand gesture, like a good one, will kind of absolve him of all his up shit that he's done. Kind of like with TV, like a TV character doing something really grand and big, so everyone else will forgive them. BoJack Horseman and Christian both had that same kind of mindset, except Chris hasn't really realised that's not how real life works, but, it's whatever. Anyways, dimensional merge. This article is yet to be completed due to stress. We've got a lot of stressful torture in our lives that makes us crash into slumber. Given that inspiration is a big variable and may be lacking of it, this article will be completed as soon as possible. Our own pace. Honest. Taste in TV. Chris is a fan of South Park and almost all Seth MacFarlane's creations. Family Guy, American Dad, The Cleveland Show. I wonder how Chris felt when, like, South Park and Family Guy were kind of beefing. Because I'm pretty sure South Park made an episode basically like hitting on Family Guy. Like, was Chris really conflicted? He was like, oh, I don't know who to side with. Oh my god. Like, what do you think? He bought tons of their episodes via the PlayStation Network for a sizable amount of money. Adult Swim is another big favourite of our autistic hero and even entered one of their contests and raged when he didn't win. He later got into F is for Family, a Netflix original created by Bill Burr. I vaguely heard of F is for Family. Again, an ex-girlfriend I've had was like really into the show. She also got me to like BoJack Horseman and stuff like that. I'm also going to say, I think it's ludicrous that he bought episodes via the PlayStation. Like, surely DVDs are cheaper. And like nowadays, of course, you can just like watch it on Netflix or on your like other streaming websites, but still, that's probably why he's so broke all the time. He's been buying episodes for the PlayStation. Will that even work anymore? Like, does PlayStation still do episode stuff? Can you still buy episodes from PlayStation? Because if you can't, that's a big waste of money. But anyway, anime is another area where Chris's choices are very transparent. Among some of his favourites over the years include Shuffle, essentially a tale of a somewhat unlikable guy who's suddenly being ousted by several obedient, attractive females. So it's a harem, I don't know. You know, like one of those shows where the guy dies and he gets into a magical world and then all these girls have a thing for him, even though he's like the most plain motherfucker. It's like that. That sounds like Chris's fantasy, though. Like, everyone praises him, he gets to go on cool adventures, he gets bitches. That is like Chris's ideal life. You'd love it. Gunslinger Girl, which is about little girls trained to become assassins, and Exile Saga, while generally regarded favourably, is chock full of in-jokes and parody, things that Chris can't understand but his ego to copy. Certain bizarre choices do stick out, however. Monty Python's Flying Circus has been brought up or referenced several times, along with comedian Red Skelton and I Love Lucy. The former's features absurdity probably piqued Chris's interest, while the final two were probably an offshoot of his decrepit parents. Yeah, I don't really recognise Red Skelton, I think that's how you say it, but I know I Love Lucy vaguely, and it's like that 50 show, but I don't really know what it's about. I've seen like Family Guy parodies of it. I haven't seen Monty Python's Flying Circus or any like Monty Python stuff. But, like, I imagine Chris is really into it because there's, like, XD random humour, and it's probably not just that, but he can't get that. He doesn't get that. Absurdist humour isn't just there to random, like, it can tell a good message. I don't know if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, so sorry about that. Chris is a fan of movie musicals. Ew, gross. I hate musicals. There's probably good musicals out there, but every musical I've, like, watched or listened to, I'm like, ugh. And as top three are On the Town, Singing in the Rain, and Meet Me in St. Louis. In the same conversation, he described Mary Poppins, another movie musical, as his favourite film. You know, I've actually never watched Mary Poppins. I know what it's about, obviously. Like, vaguely. But I've never watched it. Chris seems to have also watched a fair bit of Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the late 1990s and early 2000s, making references to Cousins, Skeeter, Ed, Edd and Eddy, and the Powerpuff Girls, among others. Many of these shows have gained significant cult followings, but were made for kids much younger than Chris was at the time. Yeah, like, the late 1990s and early 2000s. Chris is like, I'm pretty sure Chris turned like 18 in 2000, so he's definitely a bit too old for these types of cartoons. Like, I'm not shaming people who watch cartoons as like adults, but it kind of is out of his age bracket, isn't it? Seeing his other interests, though, it's not that surprising that he was watching shows designed for elementary schoolers when he was in high school and college. Chris has also shown an occasional preference for some horror movies, including the film adaptation of Silent Hill and the Saw series, which, although rarely mentioned by Chris, could be viewed as an inspiration for the events of Century No. 10, where the Asclepiad 4 was executed via elaborate death traps. Well, elaborate by Chris's standards. I'm surprised he didn't just rip off Saw and use whatever traps they have in there. I know there's like a bear trap, like on the heads. I know that one. And I know in one of the Saw movies, a guy is like hung by his nipples or something, and like they kind of like rip his boobs off. And what's another one? Like this girl has to put her arm through glass or whatever, and she's like in a car, I think. And she dies, obviously. Like, I'm surprised Chris hasn't just ripped off that. If this picture is clear, Chris likely uses Hulu to watch all these shows he can't on Netflix. Chris also uses Disney Plus. Right, okay. Uploads it to Mod Nation Racers indicate he's a fan of Drawn Together, for obvious reasons. He copied his scene from Beavis and Butthead in the new shoe Sonic Shoe. Anyways, there's two pictures here, and the caption for the first one is a quote-unquote classic children's show. Oh boy, this is not the bathroom. Whoops. Oh, my axles. What the fuck am I reading? Is Chris shitting in that plane? Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? What is that? I don't know if it's a train, a plane, a car. Judging from, like, the face, I would assume it's, like, Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, whatever. Anyways, there's a picture here, and the caption for this says, Chris enjoys Asian sitcoms thanks to his parents. Yeah, no, he's really like 50s shit, isn't he? Well, obviously, because his parents, like, were there when these shows were made. Love Eve, if I've told you once to a million times you shouldn't leave your purse at our mansion, I'm sorry, Thurston, but we were on that island for so long. I've gotten used to strolling without it. Indeed. What? There's like a little thing that says guess Jason's last name now. What the am I reading? What? What's this referencing? Is it I Love Lucy? Is there something about an island? Is that Gilligan's Island? I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of it. I'm confused. I don't like it. I'm coming to Chris's house and killing him personally for that. That was so cringe. I'm so sorry. Netflix. Main article, Netflix. Chris has used Netflix to satisfy his watching needs instantaneously, enabling him to reach a near comatose state of mental saturation. Put in more practical terms, he spent more than 6 hours watching Keeping Up Appearances and South Park in a single day. You know what? That sounds awesome though. I love just like opening up Netflix and just watching whatever. I've gone, this is so embarrassing, but I've gone really into Young Sheldon. Like I'll see like in TikTok clips and I like watch those and I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. And I just like watch it on Netflix. I'm like 3 seasons in to Young Sheldon, unironically, and I'm having such a blast. I love it. I love Netflix. You know what? I've only had Netflix for a few months now, and I've hardly watched anything except Young Sheldon, a few episodes of Black Mirror, Pearl, BoJack Horseman, and that's really about it. In terms of averages, Chris watches roughly 3 hours of television a day, at least for the week viewed. Is it bad to say that I don't think that's that bad? I don't think that's that bad, really. Like, I could probably do that. Like, even though I have I have an internship, and that's taken up most of my day, I can still, like, come home and watch, like, 3 hours of TV. So, but anyway, the huge selection and instant watch feature combined with Chris's need to work has led to some interesting choices in film. Today, he has rented Maniac Nurses Find Ecstasy, Story of O, Virgin, and many more titles, sexual names, and or posters. I imagine Chris was one of those people that when like Jennifer's Body came out, the movie, he definitely watched it because he just thought Megan Fox would be sexy. Like he just thought that was the movie, and like it was just her doing lesbian shit for an hour and a half. Considering Netflix doesn't deal in porn, he's wasting his time. Oh, you can still like wank to sexual-ish movies. I suppose we're just easier to watch porn. Other than these porno hunts and impulse rentals, Chris is pretty much interested in only 3 types of programs: adult cartoons, British sitcoms, and comedy. What kind of British sitcoms? Because I haven't really seen anything that I have like noticed. I imagine Chris would really like The Miranda Show. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a British sitcom. I don't think it's received that well because, like, when I was a kid, I was like, oh my god, this is so funny. And I probably shouldn't be watching it. But, like, I've seen on Reddit, people like, this is the worst show I've ever seen. It's crap. It's boring. It's just lazy humour. And I'm like, I thought it was amazing. But again, I was like 6 when I watched it. I kind of don't want to watch the Miranda Show because I'm like, what if it's actually really crap and I've just, like, misremembered it? But, like, I imagine Chris would like the show. Displaying a remarkably narrow range of interests, the only movie that really stands out in his selections is Twilight. Chris watched Twilight, oh my god. I f***ing love Twilight. Like, unironically, I know it's bad, but I really do like Twilight. I love the saga, it's so good. I love New Moon the most, but also, like, the first movie, I love it. It's so bad, it's good. Netflix has also allowed him easy access to the cartoons of his childhood, Transformers and Sonic being the most prominent. The apparent binge of Transformers-related television may have been the inspiration behind Sunshine Number 9. Beginning in the second half of the 2010s, Netflix also began investing in anime for original content. Of all these, Chris spent a single day in early June 2020 binge-watching BNA, Brand New Animal, merely stating on his social media it's a quote-unquote a very good anime. Given that it's a flashy, action-packed anime consisting of humanized animals, overpowered protagonists, moralizing lectures, a villainous conspiracy, and inherent blood being used for a vaccine to cure the populace, many of which should sound familiar to anyone on this wiki, that Chris would find it enjoyable is unsurprising. Yeah, no, that's just like Chris's shit. And you know, when I saw BNA, I read it like BNAJ, you know, like Boku no Hero Academia, or like My Hero Academia. Does he think My Hero Academia is real? Like, imagine quirks, like the superpowers. Imagine that be real. Imagine what's his face, All Might, like flying through your town and be like, I'm here. Oh, that'd be cool. And that's like the end of the video, but I'm so out of it because I'm really sick right now, as you can probably hear my voice, and I'm really banged up. Anyways, you don't have to listen to me anymore, because that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching if you dared to listen to all of it. And even if you listen to half of it and you won't get this message, thank you as well. Because, like, I know I can be a bit annoying sometimes, but regardless. Yeah, that is Chris and Television. Subscribe to all of the things I said at the beginning of this video, and goodbye.